Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Terminator 2 Judgment Day T-1000 motorcycle cop from NECA Toys. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, this figure is one that I've been really excited to finally get my hands on. An absolutely gorgeous looking picture right here of Arnold. I love that. That's just a classic iconic look. Of course, a brilliantly sculpted, wonderful looking figure in the T-1000, one of my favorite villains of all time. Flip around here on the side, nice little picture right there, which you really can't see. On the back, as target identified, specs, the model T-1000 motorcycle cop. A more advanced Terminator composed of mimetic polyalloy, a liquid metal that allows it to take the shape and appearance of anyone or anything it touches. In his continued pursuit of John Connor, the T-1000 arrives at Cyberdyne Systems disguised as a motorcycle cop. Armed with an MP5 submachine gun, the T-1000 resumes his mission to terminate John and anyone who gets in his way. Fantastic looking figure. The sculpt on here looks really good. I'm really impressed with the way the face looks. That's really kind of cool. Definitely one of my favorite villains of all time, as I said. This guy was just creepy. Watching him on the big screen when the movie first came out, and when I say big screen, I mean big screen. I saw Terminator 2 at a drive-in, which those are huge. I don't even know. You guys might be too young to know what those are. But seeing it on the big screen, there was just a sense of creepiness, and the stalker vibe of it just really kind of scared everyone. So let's get this guy open and see how cool he actually is. Okay, guys, so here we have the Terminator 2 motorcycle cop T-1000 opened up and out of its packaging. And once again, I have got to say bravo to the folks over at NECA for not only once again giving longtime Terminator fans wonderful representations of the characters from the movie that we've known and loved for over 20 years, but for doing it with such attention to detail that it surpasses anything that this reviewer has seen from almost any other toy manufacturer. NECA truly does care, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your guys' ass. Pardon the language, but they do not do something that is not worth doing. And it really seems that they live by the whole credo that it's not worth doing unless you do your absolute best. This figure is again another wonderful looking representation of what we got in the movie itself. These things are statues, they're action figures, they're just overall brilliant looking display pieces that with this figure, they even go a little bit further than they did with previous versions from their Terminator line. Up until this figure, when it comes to Terminator figures, the only figures that I've known of in the Terminator line that have had knee articulation were the endoskeletons. This guy actually has knee articulation, which I'll get to in a minute. But first off, this is the Terminator. I'm going to zoom in here because this is awesome. That is just an absolutely gorgeous looking face sculpt. Perfectly capturing Robert Patrick's look and just an overall menacing, creepy style that the T-1000 was given by his wonderful portrayal of this character. Absolutely gorgeous looking. I even love how they got Los Angeles Police right on here. I'm not entirely sure what that little mark means right down there. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure what that is. I do have a couple minor problems that has nothing to do with NECA, but for example, the police badge has a little bit of black paint splotches on there, which is would probably annoy a couple collectors out there. And if I actually found this in a retail store, I probably wouldn't have picked this particular one up. I would try to find a more clean looking version. But I actually got this guy off of eBay, and you take what you get. But that is absolutely not NECA's fault. I don't put any blame whatsoever on them for something trivial like that. Just overall, the body sculpt on him is also very impressive. Going all the way down, you can see that every detail is so nicely captured, going all the way down to his boots. And then even if you spin this around, I love the fact that he still has the remnants of his liquid metal form there. I just think that's wonderful. Now, one minor problem I guess I could have is the way that the legs are. It takes a little bit of positioning to get him to stand on his own. I use these clear stands, which I don't know if you actually can see them. I use these clear stands, and I buy them by like a pack of 15 off of McFarlane.com's website, and they work perfectly for all these figures. It's the only thing that I really get from McFarlane, and I use them to enhance my NECA figures. So it does take a little bit of positioning to get the legs in the proper place where he stands without toppling over. But, you know, with a little bit of a skilled hand, you can do it perfectly. In terms of his articulation, his head is on this ball joint, so you can still get a range of motion. Although, with the way the collar is here, he can't look up too terribly high. That's about as far high as he's going to be able to look with his head. His arms are on these nice joints, so you can get them rotating out from the body. They also rotate at the shoulder. They bend at the elbow. They rotate at the elbow. The hands are actual like little ball joints, so you get a full range of motion there. Yeah, put his arm down. He rotates at the waist. Doesn't have anything at the hip area, but like I said, he now does have knee articulation, so you can get a good range of motion. I mean, that's kind of a little extreme, but he does bend at the knee about that far and that far there, and they also rotate at the knee. So you, like I said, a good range of motion with this figure, which really does impress me. He does come with a couple extra accessories. As you can see, this is his big giant submachine gun, or whatever you want to call it. He also does have a hand pistol that holsters nicely in there, and you can put that in this hand. You can have him holding his nice little pistol. But one other really cool accessory that he comes with, if you take this arm, or really kind of any arm I suppose, and remove this, he comes with this little bit right here. One thing that does kind of suck about this is a very soft plastic, and as you can see, it's kind of warped. I can fix that a little bit by heating it up and then freezing it into a better position. But all you have to do is come around here, take that in, twist that in, and now he's got his really cool spear weapon, which just overall looks absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this figure. It's just a cool figure. Now, as I've said previously, the T-1000 is easily one of my favorite villains and favorite characters of all time. Now, as I've said before, the T-1000 is one of my favorite characters and villains of all time. And I really think that this figure beautifully captures the look and the feel of the T-1000 when he was in his motorcycle cop disguise. It's just an absolutely brilliant looking figure, which I absolutely love, and without a shadow of a doubt, highly recommend to anybody, really, who is a Terminator fan or just a cult classic sort of fan. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is a figure that you need to pick up. My only real kind of regret is that I think that we're slowly but surely running out of different looks for these figures and characters to come up with in general. I know that NECA has said that they have no intention of doing Terminator 3 or even Terminator Salvation's figures, so I don't really know what's in store for the rest of these guys. I'm curious to find out, but my full faith is put into NECA, and I'm very much convinced that when this is all said and done, we're going to have the definitive versions of some of the most memorable Terminator scenes and characters in the history of the franchise. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.